if I'm going to find the equation of a line segment, well, I'm going to need to find the equation of the line. So I'm going to go with that. Solution, I need to find the equation of the line. And then if I want to find just a line segment, then I will need to restrict the values of t. So then, to find the parametric equations for a line segment, we restrict the values of t. So as I have these 2 points, I'll call them P and Q. I'll just put P and Q next to those points. I need to find the direction of the line. And to do that, I'll find either vector PQ or vector QP. So I'm going to write that. To find the direction of the line, we need to find vector PQ or vector, did I say it backwards? PQ or QP for the vectors. And either one, I'm going to go with PQ. I kind of looked at it. I saw 11 minus -2, positive number. That sounded good to me. So for PQ, Q minus P, 11 minus -2 is the first component. -4 minus 18 is the second component. And 48 minus 31 is the third component. So that's going to be the vector with components 13, -22, and 48 minus 31, 17. So that gives me the direction. That is what is referred to in the formula as vector V. And they said give the parametric equations, but I'm going to give all three, or at least I'll give the vector equation, and then I'll give the parametric equation. So the vector equation, here's the formula. Vector R would equal vector R sub 0 plus t times vector v. And vector R, that is your x, y, z. So vector with x, y, z components. Vector R sub 0, you can pick either point P or Q, but whichever one you pick, you're actually doing the position vector. So I'm going to pick Q this time. So the position vector that has Q as a terminal point plus T times vector V, which is 13, -22, 17. There's the vector equation for that line. It's not the line segment at this point. For the parametric equations, now really you didn't have to find the vector equation to find the parametric equations. If you're thinking you're happy to memorize a lot of formulas, or you could memorize a formula for parametric equations. For the parametric equations, I'm looking at the vector equation, and I'm thinking I have to combine these two vectors, distribute the t, add corresponding components, and then I'm going to equate my components. So for the parametric equations, the x x would equal 11 plus 13t. What does y equal? Y equals negative 4 minus 22t. And then z equals 48 plus 17t. Do y'all see how I got that? I went up here, and again, I can write it here. I have the space here. I said, okay, 11, negative 4, 48. Distribute this t, 13t, negative 22t, 17t. Add those two vectors, 11 plus 13t, negative 4 minus 22t for the second component, 48 plus 17t for the third component, and then it equals vector x, y, z, so the corresponding components have to be equal. And that's your parametric equations right there. Now this right here, as t could be any real number, this is the entire line. Now we'd write that t is an element of the reals. Then I'm talking about the entire line. This problem in the book did not ask for the entire line. This problem asked for the line segment that went from the first point to the second point, what I called point P to point Q. When t is 0, what do you get? You get what point? You get Q. When t is 0, you get 11, negative 4, 48. That you get point Q. When t is 0, you get x equals 11, y equals negative 4, z equals 48. You get point Q, or 11, negative 4, 48. If they want the line segment from P to Q, then you have to kind of think, what value for t is going to give you point Q? Normally, since I've used those 2 points to work the line, normally it's going to be either 1 or negative 1. See, it depends what I pick for R sub 0, and it probably depends what direction I went, whether I used vector PQ or vector QP for V. What t value will give me P? Negative 1. So if t equals negative 1, x would be 11 plus 13 times negative 1, which is negative 2. And do I get 18 for y? Y is negative 4 minus 22 times negative 1. That is 18. Z is 48 plus 17 times negative 1. That is 31. That is point P. So for the line segment, between those 2 points, I could say x is 11 plus 13t, y is negative 4 minus 22t, and z is 48 plus 17t, and t is between negative 1 and 0 to cut it off at those points.